This video will show you how to access and use the OLI textbook. OLI stands for Open Learning Initiative. It's a product of Carnegie Mellon University. It's like an online textbook, but it offers much more. All content is tied to learning objectives, specific goals that students should achieve. There are learn by doing activities that provide hints and feedback. There are did I get this activities that provide opportunities to demonstrate knowledge and receive feedback. All of the student responses feed into a learning dashboard where the instructor can quickly see where students are being successful with their learning and where they are struggling. Anyone can go to the OLI website and sign up for an account to take a course, but we have integrated the OLI textbook into the Coursera environment. Since you created a Coursera user account, you do not need to additionally log into the OLI textbook. Simply click the OLI textbook page in the site menu. The first time you click the OLI textbook page, you will see a screen that shows a consent form. As an aside, you might notice that the OLI textbook page opens in a new window, likely if you are using either Safari or Internet Explorer as your browser. If this is a problem, setting your browser to accept all third-party cookies should solve it. Researchers at OLI are interested in what works and what does not work with their textbook. They are running a research study that collects data on your interactions with the textbook. Your participation is completely optional, and your grade in the course will not be affected by your participation. Furthermore, whether or not you participate, you will not notice any difference in the experience. All of the data is collected in the background. There are no additional surveys to respond to. Please read the consent form carefully. If you agree to participate, click the I agree button. Otherwise, click I disagree. You can always change your participation at any time in the settings area of the OLI textbook. Before you begin working with the OLI content, I would encourage you to make sure your system is configured properly. Start by clicking on the System Check button. This should open a new window. This page includes an automated test, a list of system requirements, and information about configuring your browser. Click the Test Your System button. You will notice that it opens a new window. In my case, my system passed all of the tests. If your system did not pass all the tests, make a note of which ones failed and then close the window. You can use the documentation on this page to help you troubleshoot your settings. In the case that your operating system is incorrect, your browser is incorrect, or there's something else wrong that you can't fix, the OLI textbook will likely still work. You might just lose a bit of functionality. But chances are, if your system can handle the Coursera experience, you should have no problem here. Now you are ready to start using the OLI textbook. I will give you a short overview of the features, but feel free to explore on your own. First, I'll close the Test Your System window. To access the modules, click on Course Syllabus. You will see a window that contains all the units and all the modules available in the OLI textbook. Notice there is another link to Test Your System. Each week in Coursera, you will be assigned to read certain modules. Make note of which modules you need to read. For example, for week 1, you are assigned to read modules 1 through 4. On the syllabus screen, you can click the appropriate module to get started. So, I'll click on Module 1. Below each module is the available practice. Here, you can quickly see all the activities for each module. But let me first show you the modules and the activities that are built in. Each module starts with the learning objectives. Read these carefully. Then there is a table of contents for the pages in this module. You can use the links here to get started, or the arrows at the top and bottom. Depending on the size of your screen, you might have to scroll to the right to see the rest of the content. I'll make my window a little smaller to show you what I mean. Near the top of the syllabus page, there is a navigation bar to jump around to different units. You can also search the entire textbook using this search feature. You can always get back to an overview of the textbook by clicking on My Course to go to the home screen, or Syllabus to see the list of modules. Finally, I would like to show you the Help and Settings pages. If you need help, click the link at the top of every page. You can see that we listed lots of help options for you. Determine if the problem you are having applies to OLI or Coursera, and select the right help option to ensure that your question goes to the right place. On the home page of the OLI textbook, you can select your settings. Here, you can change your name and email address, but there should never be a reason to do this. You can select your home country and insert your institution name. Please leave this set to Coursera, since you are taking the Coursera course. You can also change the left off setting here. As you can see, there are 3 options. Finally, if you would like to opt into or out of the optional research study that I mentioned earlier, you can review the consent form here and change your participation at any time. Well, I hope that gives you a good overview of the OLI textbook, how to get it set up, and how to make the most of it. Please give it a try yourself.